It's about time I got back to doing one of these, huh? Now I have a test on Monday, so that's probably why I'm spending my weekend making Scrabble videos instead of studying for my test. Before we get started on this, I do want to give a quick shout out to Brendan McClanahan. He's my new top fan or fan of the month or whatever. He decided to donate a little cash to the stream. He's a friend of the stream now, so thank you, Brendan. Thanks for your support. Obviously, nobody's under any obligation to give me any money. I love providing this content. I'd happily do it for free as long as people like you keep watching this. But I appreciate the support. So this is one of my favorite games at the tournament. And I had actually completely forgotten about this game until I quackled it getting ready for this video. But I was playing against Noah Berger in round 17. At this point, I'm 8-8, and it's like, wow, what's the point of even coming to nationals, right? Like, yeah, I played on board one time, but now I'm back to 500, and like, I could easily drop a couple more games and have an abysmal tournament and be at the bottom table. I could rattle off a couple wins and be back up at the top. It's a crazy tournament, nationals, especially with the field the size it was this year. I have a really fun opening rack. At least I thought it was really fun. It's BCGHRS blank. I'll go ahead and alphabetize that better for you. You're going to exchange here. Like, you're never going to play SH. You're never going to burn the blank here. But what do you exchange? The strongest leave, according to Quackle and according to Gut Intuition, is CHRS blank. You pick up any vowel, and you're pretty good. But opponents tend to respond really like passively, really defensively to an exchange 2. So if they don't put any tiles out there, I'm going to need to draw a 7, which is tougher. I'll hit 8s all day with that. But a 7 is a little bit tougher to hit. And exchange 2 is really scary. So you can maybe throw back 1 more, exchange 3, or even throw back 2 more, exchange 4 for your opponent. And that'll, maybe make them open things up a little bit more, although you're foregoing some of your own bingo percentage. So I'm going to go through and take out a lot of stuff. I'll take out these 2 as well. Those seem kind of silly. I'm just going to show you what Quackle says about this. You can see the details box over there. Why is opponent's bingo percent at 5%? That's weird. I don't have any specified rack. I guess my opponent just got incredibly unlucky for the first 100 or so iterations there, and now opponent's bingo percentage is closer to about 8%, which still seems low, but I guess if the blank is on my rack, then maybe they don't have one. Anyway, you can see that there's pretty dramatically different results in my bingo percent, right? Next turn, I'll bingo somewhere between 70 and 80%, it looks like. Exchanging BGR seems to yield the fewest bingos back, right? Obviously holding CHS, that's, getting rid of the most bingo-prone tile, or one of the most bingo-prone tiles there in the R. An opponent's going to do the same thing no matter what because this is Quackle, but Quackle's kind of stupid like that. It doesn't factor in what your opponent is doing. It just makes a play. Exchanging just BG, holding CHRS blanket. Quackle says I'm going to bingo 80% of the time. Again, in real life, it's not that high because I don't get floating vowels very often. I get, little 2-tile dinky openings a lot, and I get a lot more exchanges on the first turn after an exchange 2 from me. So what I decided to do is exchange BGR, and that does bingo least of any of the options up there, but you can see I'm still scoring 70 per turn holding CHS blank, which seems ridiculous. And I truly do think exchanging just BG here against a real person is not quite as strong a play. You can see Quackle's got him neck and neck, about 0.5 apart, maybe not even that. But factoring in the defensive considerations, I do think I did the right thing here, exchange BGR. But that was a super interesting rack, and I spent quite a bit of time with it trying to figure out the right thing to do. That's super fun. He opens with a little defensive play anyway. I think when you got VAU on the first turn, you're going to play it almost invariably. I don't know if he decided this placement here because he thought I might have an S and I was bingo prone, and he wanted my bingo down the I column and score a little less. Not totally sure what went into that, but that's what he decided to do. And I draw CHIRRS blank. There are actually 3 valid 7s in this rack, which floored me when I checked it after the game. I knew 1, and the second one kind of, but the third I had no idea at all. So I'll go ahead and pop those into Ziziva for you, CHIRRS blank. So there's Cheers, Skiri, and Kurish. And really, I only knew Cheers, and I kind of knew Kurish, but I was not confident enough to play it over a board, especially when I had a valid bingo available. So Cheers is what I do. It's the worst bingo I had, except for maybe Sriracha down to the A, which is super cool. And Noah's going to respond with Zip. Sorry, he doesn't respond with Zibit. He responds with Zineb. I always get those words mixed up. He responds with Zineb. So even though I've hit a blank and made a pretty fun exchange on the first turn, it's practically a neutral game now. It's my turn, but the score is almost tied. A, B, E, F, J, L, N is my post-bingo draw. And already I can see that, you know, when you open with Va, the board can get kind of dead, and especially when you play down to Va, making Vas, but not going any further than that, you make that like weird inverted L shape. That leads to closed boards a lot. And that seems to be where this one might be going, especially with the C up top. So I've got a couple options available, but I'm never going to throw something open like Fable. Hefe is a play worth considering for sure here, but I elected to just play Fab instead. I felt like it's really difficult for Noah to score well in response after a play like Fab. Hefe is also tough, but if Noah's got like a cheap bingo down from L6, then I'm in a lot of trouble. Quackle definitely wants me to play Hefe here. It wants me to unload the J. J's really not going to do me a lot of good on this board. Fab is not super far behind, and I don't feel terrible about this play in hindsight. But yeah, if I could do it again, I think I would play Hefe. Honestly, when I typed this racket and quackling, I was surprised that I played Fab and not Hefe. But, you know, 1 point here and there, it's a small consideration in the grand scheme of things. I put Hefe, and see, I wish I played Hefe. I played Fab. This is one of the weirder things that happened. Noah plays Tur to this R for 6 points. You know, there's a chance it's the right thing to do. There's a chance my opponent made a mistake on a closed board. I know practically nothing about Noah and his game coming into this, so I don't know if he's you know, a whiz coming up, flying up the rankings and underrated, or if he's just a 1600 player. I don't remember what his rating is or was at the time, but I think he was a low seed. I really have no scouting report, so it's hard to tell if Tur is like an aggressive fish because he's very close to range, which is what Tur has to be if it's the right play, or if it's just a bad play. Maybe he's making a mistake. Maybe he can't play closed. I really don't know. And I never asked him what his racks were after the game, so I couldn't tell you now. There's a good chance it was the right thing to do. There's a good chance it wasn't. EEHJLNW is what I pulled into. And EJLN typically doesn't go anywhere good, so I'm actually happy to pick up some stuff I can score with. And this was interesting. There's really not a lot I can do after an aggressive fish. Welch, I could get absolutely obliterated up top, especially now that EW is a word. So I really don't want to let him bingo for 90 if he's fishing like that. Same with Wench. Hugh, that takes a really dangerous back hook. It takes the N, it takes the S. But I do have an N, so that's kind of like aggressive, but also aggressive in a good way for me. There's Win over here. And other than that, there's really not a lot of good plays at all. Is it Lequi? I've never seen that word in my life. Lequi? Lechwa? I have no idea what that is, but we all just learned a word today. If you already knew that, well, good for you. I elected to go with Hugh. I elected to go with the setup here. I feel like Tur, if it was a fish, probably doesn't hold an N. If you're that bingo prone that you're holding NRTU and probably another good vowel or two in there, like, you're not going to play Tur. So I figured Tur didn't hold an N, and I do have an N. Now, he might have an S. There's a really good chance he has an S, actually, but sometimes it's hard to hang the S in a bingo when it's not at the end of the bingo. So he was aggressive, but it might be okay. It might not. Maybe I should be less cute and just play Win. I really don't know. I'm never going to be good enough to tell you what the right answer is, but I will tell you what I did, and that's Hugh. He responds very quickly with QIS. So I dodged a bullet there. He probably did have the S on that turfish, but he picked up the Q, and he played off the U. Woohoo! I love making my opponents get unlucky on accident. EJKLNOT is my draw. And there's really two things to do here. You could play Joke, or you could play Jock. And they're going to sim just like neck and neck. Where are my sim results? There they are. They're going to sim like neck and neck for us here. Well, they did. Now they're okay. There we go. Yeah. I really couldn't tell you what the right thing to do here is again. They're both going to lead to relatively closed boards, which is a thing that I want to do. If you look at Noah's bingo percentage next turn, Joke hangs out the floating O, so his bingo percentage actually goes up a little bit because he can hit some more 8s. And it probably, I guess, leaving the C open is probably part of the consideration there as well. If I could go back, I would play Jock. Quackle tells me to play Jock. There's just not a lot he can do after Jock to hurt me. I guess there's like potential 6-letter plays from 1J making okay, but you can't live scared like that. So I don't know. I think I should avoid giving away the floater and avoid giving up the potential for him to stack on top of Joke. It's so hard for me to see okay as a word. I hate every dictionary update because I don't see the new words forever. But yeah, I just don't think I should play this. I really do think I should play Jock. I don't think I should play anything but Jock here. Oh, see, again, I did it. I put in the play that I didn't make as opposed to the one I did. Joke actually allows him to score a lot, but not in the way we thought. I thought maybe he'd stack on top of Joke or bingo through the O. Instead, he hits this cute little Ruge play here, playing off ERG for 25 points. But Ruge doesn't take any back hooks, and this board has gone from not good to like super dead. So that's pretty exciting for me. I love dead boards, especially with a lead of about 40 points, and especially when I've got a rack like Elation or Toenail. Except this rack kind of sucks to have if there's no place to play Elation or Toenail. And there was no place to bingo or do anything here, and I don't really want to open the board because I'm winning. Why would you open bingo lines when you're winning? Maybe if you have an S or a blank, but not otherwise. So Quackle Speedy player says, oh, we'll just drop the Joe, keep in tail, and bingo next turn. That's awful. That's literally one of the dumbest things you could possibly do in this situation. You should never, ever, ever do that. Tajin, blow the rack up, blow the board wide open. Like, no, we're not doing that either. If you just use Quackle and you click on the top play, you're doing it very wrong, I promise. That's one of the reasons I put the details in these videos. I want to show you the power of Quackle here. Where I don't really just want to fish the O elsewhere either. I think we have to score a little bit more here. If you start fishing for 7 or 10 and your opponent hits 30 here, great. You wasted a turn fishing for no reason, and now you still have a bunch of 1-pointers on a board where you can't bingo. So I elected to play Taj here. I feel like it's kind of a happy medium where like my leave is not awful. EILON is not something to be excited about ever, but I score 20. I don't open anything up. And I'm going to be balanced enough to keep knocking out the lanes he tries to create in the future. So that's what I did. It's a very unorthodox play. Quackle will never tell you it's right. I feel fine about it. He responds with calf here, so I'm really happy he made a word where, you know, there's no front hook right here, and maybe he could make that the case by playing FAY or something, but for right now, there's no front hook here, and there's not even a play here or a hook here, so the board stays closed. And as long as I'm winning, I'm happy for the board to stay closed. Except my rack, which was Elation, has kind of started to slip a little bit. EILNO picked up AU, and this is not fun at all. You don't want to get caught with a bunch of vowels on a dead board either, because some pretty bad stuff can happen. So I decided to go ahead and just blow it all up and play Colleen. There's a small chance that I can get hit back pretty hard. You know, something like Mew, M-E-W, is what, 40-something? But I just need to get rid of all these letters, like, now. Plus, I think, you know, with little dinky plays like Calf and Ruge and Tur, like, I still think he's reasonably bingo prone. He's probably got some 1-pointers hiding on there, so maybe I don't get hit too bad. So Colleen is what I decided to play, and he responds with Aped right up here for 42. So that's about as hard as I could have expected to be hit there, and it happened, but yeah, so it goes. I guess XED would have been really bad, or AXED. So I guess we dodged a small bullet there, but so it goes. So I had Elation 2 turns ago, and somehow my rack has fallen all the way from Elation to EGOOVW. I guess that's what happens when you play Colleen. Sometimes you pick up good stuff, and sometimes you pick up EGOVUA. But the board is dead. If there's ever a good situation to have shitty racks, pardon my French, it's on a dead board. So I'm just going to go ahead and score as many points as I possibly can and just drop ego right here. You could probably also play Goo here, but I don't want to give him an opportunity to try and like shove the board open, playing Goon or Good or something underneath. So I'll keep another O instead, score 3 more points. Fine, that's fine with me. And then he's going to drop YE right over here. So the last super worrisome bingo line down from the W is gone. Now it's really just like crazy unplays that I have to worry about. And it's like, okay, cool. But EEGOOVW actually gets worse, apparently. EOOOUVW is now what I've drawn, and it's like, what? Didn't I have elation just a couple turns ago and I didn't bingo, and now I've got this? What? This isn't fair. I mean, it is fair. I got super lucky in many, many, many instances in this tournament. So I just grabbed all 7 of my tiles and put them down on the table. We're exchanging 7 here. You could maybe exchange 6 if you wanted to and hold on to an E. There was a reason I didn't do that. I can't remember what it was. I think maybe I just wanted an extra tile of turnover to get the blank. But I guess maybe if you keep 1 tile on your rack, maybe your opponent thinks it's a blank, so you can play some mind games there. I don't really know what the right thing to do is, but we exchanged 7. He responds with DA right here for 16. So now I've got that A to worry about. 8s might come down from there. It's a little bit annoying, but if it's going to happen, I guess it's going to happen. There's not too much I can do to justify blocking that. And my exchange 7 yields DEEIITT, and it's just, I hate when this happens. I'm sure everybody does when you pick up like EEIITT or AAEENN, and it's like, well, I just want to play off ANE somewhere and keep ANE and not bingo and score 12. Like, ugh. I think that's like the 6th circle of hell there, is all 1-pointers that don't bingo like that. I just decided to keep scoring 20 points. Noah's actually taken the lead. He's up by 4 now. Now, obviously, we can't keep really scoring on this board, so whatever. I'll just play ED there, and I don't know what to do. I guess we just race to a blank or wait for somebody else to open the board and see what happens. I don't know. I'm just going to keep scoring 20 and see what happens. I also like this play a little bit because he could have played AD right here, and instead he played DA down here for like 4 less points. So it's like this small psychological, like, ha, you didn't see that, did you? Or maybe you did and you decided to open the A. I don't know, but just a little bit of that. And then he plays Rattel here. I'm going to be totally honest. I did not know that Rattel was a word, so I said hold. But it was 5 points, and he could play later in the same spot for also 5 points. So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. It is good. So that's one of those, we call them boggle words. Like every boggle player should know all 6 of these words, and every word with all 1-point tiles because they come up all the time. But a useless Scrabble word, except I guess right here. So he plays Rattel for 5. EEIIOTT, and I'm just like, what is going on? I can't draw anything. So I just plunked a T right here. This looks really bad to me, but on my score sheet I wrote down that it was 19, and if you think this is 19, then like, oh wait, no, I put it here. I wrote it down as 19, but I played it here. That's what it was. Yeah, that's still 17. That's not 19. So I thought it was 19. I don't know. Why not? Like, should I exchange now? Or should I just get 17 and be annoying and keep the board closed and see what he does? I guess I'll just keep it closed. You don't want to open after your opponent plays Rattel through ATE for 5, right? No, I don't think so. Noah then exchanges 3. Things are like super weird. This board just sucks and we're just doing nothing, and we've been doing nothing for like 1,000 years. And I finally, from elation, gone to EEIIIOT, and it's like, okay, yep, it's time to exchange again. So elation, I don't know, I've just had like 6 or 7 successive like ridiculously bad racks, I feel like. But that's why we play closed, because even when bad stuff happens, nothing super bad actually happens to you, right? And it seems like Noah's been missing on a bunch of fishes too. So this time I decided to exchange 5. If you look at the unseen pool, there is only 1 E left in it. So I know I kept an E. I want to say I kept ET here. Maybe I would hold. No, I would never. I didn't see how many O's were unseen. Yeah, I had to keep ET here. I thought maybe I held 2 vowels, but I didn't see there were 6 O's unseen. So ET is definitely what I held. And then he drops Vox. Like, if you're not going to bingo this is one of the most heartbreaking things I can see. Like, you got 31 on a board shaped like this? No, come on. But that's fine. DEIOPTU is my draw. And this is the game right here. I have to do something, right? Like, my lead has eroded completely. I still don't have a good rack. That blank is still unseen. So what do I do? Do I just go fishing for it? Do I blow up my rack? Do I score 28 and hope it's there? Do I try and play a little bit of defense with a word that doesn't take an S, like outed? I'm not sure at all what I'm supposed to do. I guess toad is even a little bit more defensive than outed. So do I want to do something like that and keep a terrible lead, like opted, oped? I really don't know. But I decided, whatever, forget it. I've just got a hunch that the blank is there. I'm going to play Tupi. And this is almost definitely wrong. You know, with 2 S's and a blank unseen, how could giving up 40 points easily on the 15 row, or bingos that easily, be the right thing to do? I just had a gut feeling that I should do it. And so I did. And sure enough, Noah doesn't have the blank, but he does have both S's. But instead of hitting me down here, Noah throws down weightless, WAITLESS. And I guess Quackle already gave it away to you probably, but weightless is not good. I was pretty sure it wasn't good. So I held for a while, thought about it. My rack that I've drawn into is DGMNOOY. And I thought about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what, if this is good, I'm dead, and I'm pretty sure it's bad. I've got to challenge this, and it did come up red. I knocked it off, and that was huge, because DGMNOOY now plays here with Moody for 47, and I'm able to kind of take away the S spot that Tupi created. So, you know, we both kind of had a this is the game turn, me with Tupi, and then him with do I play weightless or not. He can play Slaws or something like that down at the bottom, or Whelps or something. But he took a shot and tried to win the game right there, and it did backfire on him. And I'm so thankful that happened. Sometimes you just go with your gut, you know, even if you think it's a bad play. Well, maybe you shouldn't go with your gut. You should always try and make good plays. But it worked out for me here, so I guess that's good. AELSSTW is what he had, and he plays Sway, so cleverly putting the S right there so you can bingo down to it. Kind of annoying me. GMNNR blank is what I've drawn now. And so I've just got to knock out that S, and groin is going to do that really easily. So not much to say or do about that. And then he finally picked up some of the bazillion or so unseen eyes in the pool. And so he has to get rid of those with aioli. And huzzah, finally somebody draws the blank, and it's me. Yes, yes. So I've got Manitol, I've got Mounting. And in a situation like this, you do quickly want to do the math, figure out what is the worst bingo Noah could have right now for me. You see there's 11 unseen, so he's got 7, there's 4 in the bag. And the worst thing he can do is play like Valines or Valence or something down there. It's 84, so you just want to make sure that your bingo is going to outrun that, and Mounting definitely is. I've already got a pretty substantial lead. So Mounting, and then I actually didn't write down what he bingoed out with, but I'm just going to put Valines in there. It was something right there for that score. And here we go. That's pretty close to what we reported as the final score. Remember, I put the T, I got the wrong score for the T. I dropped an F and Thews. But that was the game. It was super weird. It just stayed closed forever. We both had about 8 turns of just doing nothing and scoring nothing. And then boom, boom, we both bingoed right at the end. It was very interesting. You know, not often you get to live through 8 turns of just drawing absolute garbage like I did here. Again, the tile gods absolutely blessed me with that clutch blank at the end. You know, I double blanked, no hunt, barely won. But it was a super interesting, weird, strange board. I love closed boards. I love games where nobody does anything. Most people hate them, but not me. So that was that game, and I'm back up to 9-8. And all right, if I can win a couple more games, maybe something cool is gonna happen. So yeah, we'll watch some of those in the future. Thanks for watching. Take care.